Denise, Marlo. You are now listening to the Drunken Monks podcast.
And still we in the intro, but you looking away. What kind of thing that be, boy?
I'm like, you oof him, so I'm like, oof. I don't know. Did you fart? Did you have a shit? Or I don't know.
Well, I wouldn't be having a shit in front of our illustrious guest. People, we're back. We're back. Fuck it, we're back. Denise, we're back.
Yeah, we're back.
We have a guest in the monastery. We're back in the monastery to look as well. My name is Marlo Brown.
Denise Fiber.
We are
the Drunken Monks.
Drunken Monks. And
drunk
we
one,
have,
drunk two.
Now, some of y'all could just look, and so I don't need to introduce this guy, but for those of y'all that don't know, illustrious guest in the building here this afternoon. My friend, one of the first friends I made after having imported the rest of them, like you. Mm-hmm. Easily my favorite white boy on the island.
Matthijs? I don't know, you're going to have a problem with Matthijs, I think.
He was on the podcast first.
Yeah, toch? No, man. But I mean, but I told Thijs that he was one of my favorite white boys, not the favorite white boy.
Okay.
All right. And but bartender extraordinaire, restaurateur extraordinaire, all around nice guy. Local to the island now, 6 years?
10.
10 years.
Holy moly, 10.
Almost 10 in July.
10 in July. There you go.
Jeez.
A decade, nigga. Damn. Jeez. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Luuk Gerritsen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy to be here.
Yeah?
I mean,
yeah, like it's been a while.
2 seasons in. I mean,
Jesus
Christ.
Yo, folks, he's pissed because I gotta tell the story.
Yeah, tell the story.
This is a circle closing type of a moment. There is no Drunken Monks without Luuk. This is just facts. This is the whole idea of the podcast, and when it so came as a wacky thing where I very brazenly walked into his cocktail bar at the time that wasn't even open, and he was just trying to set up, and him and Evaldo were just taking an inventory and stock, and this brazen little person was like, "Hey yo, you opening the bar? Yeah, okay. I want to do a podcast. Okay, can it be here? Sure." And that was the start of a friendship.
Yep. Yeah, that was one of the most random meetings ever.
And then eventually we recorded like a couple of things there, but we never broadcast them or anything.
No, because to be honest, they were shit. Like I didn't know what I was doing like back
shit.
then. No, not quite a content, but quite the technicality of it. Okay. Season 1, believe it or not, as bad as season 1 is compared to what that we're doing right now, it was a leaps and bounds ahead of what we did. And so it was trying and retooling, and him being patient with me and everything else, and you being patient with me as well. So this is a coming home, a coming to back to where it's supposed to be type of moment. So Luuk, thank you for being here and whatnot.
Pleasure.
Yeah, toch? Denise.
Yo.
What are you drinking, sweetheart? What are you drinking?
Right now I'm on the bullet with ginger beer. Very nice, very fresh.
Fresh?
Yes.
For a Sunday afternoon.
For a Sunday afternoon. Let's do it easy.
Yeah, toch? And Luuk, what are you drinking?
I started out with some coffee. Not gonna lie, it was kind of a heavy night last night. First worked for about 12 hours and then drank for a few more.
So what you said is about 20 hours work in total, if you have to compare.
Yeah, pretty much.
So this is the appetizer later.
Oh yeah, it's just something to get me back on my feet.
Yeah, though. Dude,
get me back alive.
12 hours working, and then you went drinking, so you're enjoying the non-COVIDness of this right now.
Yes, very much so.
Like you're one of the few that's supremely glad.
Yes.
Or
I mean, everybody was affected, obviously, but our industry was just dead for 2 years. There was like a few months of it, like in the beginning, were the worst. Like 3 months of absolutely nothing. Takeout was the only thing we could do. Wasn't great. I mean, we did it. You want to keep your name out there, I guess.
Right.
And people actually picked up on it really well. We did a lot of takeout, a lot of deliveries. We did the family meals. People really dug it, but it's just not what we do. We want to entertain. We want to have people in the building. We want to be active. We want to have the drinks flowing and the food going out. Not in metal boxes, but on plates and sauces and nice. And we want to see people enjoy it instead of just dropping it off, taking their money and leaving again.
But that's kind of the thing. It's not just the food, right? It's an experience.
100%. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, obviously there's people that eat just for the sustenance, but in the restaurant business, that's just not what you want to do.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, before we get into the restaurant business, Marlo, what are you drinking?
Oh, what I'm drinking? Shit, I'm sorry. Dude, I got a bottle from the friend. Well, not got it, but he brought it so that we can drink just a bit of it. But I think you better introduce this thing, man, because you know what's going on.
Yeah, so Four Mon Vieux. Sorry, Fabian, not one of yours. Yet. Maybe a deal can be struck.
Hey.
Ingmar Voerman, Dutch guy. He has been working on this for a while, I assume. It got released a few months ago, and I made sure that I got a couple of bottles this way. It's a Vieux, which is a Dutch brandy, spiced brandy in this case. It's got some fruits, got some ginger, it's got some spices. That's really nice.
And I'm literally on that and ice. That's it, yo. It's sweet as hell.
And I have to say, it's a to me a surprising taste. It's really nice because Luke brought the bottle. I was like, ugh, an old man's drink.
Yeah,
but it's really nice. It's soft. It's sweet. I like sweet drinks. I thought it had a little bit of prunes, but it turns out to be thick. So it's a really unique taste, especially if you're looking at Vieux. I never had a Vieux like this. So yeah.
It is indeed perceived as the old man's drink. It's what Grandpa used to drink when Grandma was drinking a sherry, and both of those things are actually coming back. So I'm excited for it. Yeah, there's a big sherry movement, especially in the U.S.
Word?
Yeah, man. It's one of the coolest ingredients actually for cocktails. You can do a lot with it.
Oh, okay. I need to get me a bottle of sherry.
Speak. Like.
So sherry is kind of the perfect ingredient to mimic alcohol, or to mimic like a stronger spirit in a drink. So it has all the components. It's got the wood aging mostly. It's got the nuttiness. It's got the body. It's got a little bit of sweetness. It's got a little bit of funk, and that's what a lot of the actual 40% or higher spirits have too. So it mimics that flavor profile really well. So,
and sherry is how much?
I mean, it's a fortified wine. It's usually between 15 and 17% alcohol. Yeah. So.
And then just an easy mix, because next week I'm going to be drinking sherry. What is an easy, if I don't want to drink it like that, what can I do?
I just drink it with bitters and club soda, but that might be a little too flavor forward for some people, but it works really well in tropical drinks. It works with rum. It works with whiskey. It works with everything, basically.
Okay, cool.
Spiced rum a little faster than...
Yeah, that will work.
Right.
Cool.
No, I no, but I drink sherry, but like you said, it's kind of like a old timey kind of thing. So Christmas is my time.
Sure.
Like I love a good sherry around the Christmas time, before and after. You know what I mean?
I mean, you are an old man, so.
That's true,
brother. Why would you say that? Why would you call me? Oh,
because you do it all the time yourself, so might as well.
I call myself an old man because I'm tired of living. like I'm tired of living. Like I'm tired of this bullshit, man. But all right. But then
I mean, my hangover tells me I'm getting old too. So it's.
I was about to say,
because you only had 2 beers, right?
Yes, Mr. Officer. That is absolutely
my story.
That's
you better be glad it wasn't no cameras last night, man.
It was good.
Yo, man, it was cool.
Party.
Talking about last night, just to speak on it, because it's also something that's near to the crew or the family or whatever. We were at the Punch.
Yep.
We went to this party that you started.
Yep. Yeah, it started.
Would you like to speak on that
4 years ago, I guess. Punch, classic cocktail concept. Punch, 5 ingredients. The 5 ingredients were the 4 bartenders and the music. That was kind of the original idea. Nobody really knows that backstory anymore, so people just think they're getting punched. It's whatever. So we did that at Luke's for a couple of years. One of the most memorable parties I've ever done there. We had Madonna's DJ show up for some reason, and she asked if she could play. We had some really weird, cool things happening there. Right. Some very early mornings. And after the bar closed, we took it to Come a couple of times. Didn't really work out. Didn't really work with the space. It's just too big for a party that size. And Boys at Ochenta took it over, and it's been a hit.
But is it still the same vibes as in the before time?
Way back in the before time.
Honestly, like when it was at Luke's?
Honestly, at the last edition, last month, I don't think so. The Target Crew was a little different. But this one actually had a lot of the same vibe going on, music was great. Rodrigo and Aaron were playing really well. The bartenders were vibing. It was good. It wasn't overly busy, so there was actually some attention from the bartenders and some time to get your drinks in. So yeah, it was great.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, like what I had with last night was that they weren't. The crowd, at least last night, was not afraid to hear something new.
Fair.
Like that was what I got. Like.
Fair.
Both DJs brought in something that was either so old you don't remember it no more, or so new that you never had a chance to have heard it. And like even at the worst moments, you saw reaction. Like you saw like, oh, this is, I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna dance to it still. You know, that type of vibe. And I kind of got to give it to them that they've always been kind of forward thinking with the party and everything else.
Sure.
So I mean.
But just listening to you, Luuk, you were talking about your work now in the restaurant. Luuk is a manager in a restaurant at this moment. Had a
Komen,
sorry.
Komen, man.
Bring the swag always.
Shout out to Komen. Before that, Luuk.
Merch is available if you want to buy it, yo. Merch is available.
Before that, Luuk ran his own cocktail bar. Before that, you were at different cocktail bars, I think.
Oh yeah.
And
all over the place.
but I listened to you when you were talking about how the pandemic hit and how about the punch right now. So it's all about the experience for you. I think that's what you want to give guests.
Yeah.
But what constitutes a good experience for you, for people who are going out a night on the town?
I think that depends on the person. Some people are going out and they really just want to have a nice quiet dinner in a corner and have a conversation. Other people want to experience and take in the surroundings. Other people want to have that talk with the bartender or with the waiter, or want to have a look at the kitchen and see what's going on in there. You get a lot of different people, and that's probably the coolest thing about this industry, is that you get to meet everybody. Like for example, the guy who's the director of the show Gotham was in our restaurant last week a couple of times. Like totally random. You get musicians, you get local, you get everybody. So you actually get those relationships with people, and that's probably the coolest part. Just all those different types of people, so different stories. But yeah, they all want different experiences too. So. But
how do you get to the stories?
I mean, with some people you don't. I actually didn't really have this guy, for example. I didn't have that conversation with him. The guys in the kitchen did. Like he sat down at the chef's table and started talking to the kitchen, bought him around the shots, and just had fun with them, right? So everybody has a different approach, and with some people it's just that quick talk with the bartender. Some people really you need to pull that conversation out of them, and some people just don't want it.
Yeah.
No, but all right. What I'm hearing from you, because like you and I speak all the time about a lot of different things, how to approach craft and whatnot, right? But one thing that I just realized is that you've always either cultivated or maintained a working relationship or a healthy relationship with the bohemia here. So as you just said, like artists and musicians and whatnot. Francis Sling just did a mural for you guys in the before time.
Not during. During, September 2020.
Right. But like, do you find that important then to have a good link? Because we had another restaurateur on the podcast a couple of episodes ago too, as well, and he found it very important. Yeah. To.
I mean, if you work in this industry and you work all these extra hours and you put all the time and energy into it, you have to be, in some regards, some sort of an artist. Like there has to be that creative part, at least a part in you, right? So for cooks and chefs, that's definitely one of the more important things. For bartenders as well. For waiters, it's a little bit more technical, but or different type of technical. Right. And it's more conversational, but you have to have at least some interest in multiple things to be able to have those conversations with guests too. Like you have to know something about everything. Or at least be able to pretend you know something about everything. So there's some acting.
You have pretended once or twice.
100%. There's some acting going on in the business as well.
But do you think that is what is really lacking in Curacao?
Pointed question.
What do you think? Let us get your neck one time.
I thought it was going to be an hour or so before we got to this point. But
Dude, we are drinking.
We're going to refresh this now.
I should do. I mean, I think that's a two-part answer. I think it is very much present in the people and the culture. I don't think it's that present in the industry. The hospitality industry is still seen as a lower standard. A lot of people don't want to work in this business. A lot of people still see it as being the servant instead of being your own person. Like there's some deep-rooted negativity just that comes with this business, and therefore it's never really been cultivated that well. Other islands have done that better and have done that more efficient, for sure. Have done that more efficiently. But it's definitely coming along. I think the last 20 years, there's been a lot of change. There's been the new generation that have traveled, that have been to other places, that actually know and have seen as a guest what it can be. That is going to change what it's going to be like here very soon. The new generation of restaurateurs, the new generation of bar managers, the generation of chefs, they are changing the game, 100%.
See, now that brings me to something, and I'll say it up front. In our friendship, you've been humble. Like you don't like to talk about a lot of what you've done on one on the show, but I would dare say, I would put it in front of everybody and everything, that you were at the very least one of the people that helped to kickstart what I think was a bit of a renaissance here. On
the beverage side, I can see that for sure.
Right.
But you need the people around, you know?
But it's not no one man that could do one thing. You check what I mean?
Like,
but the zeitgeist changing, I could remember, for me, there is an easy, before your cocktail bar and after your cocktail bar. Only after Luke's, his old cocktail bar, that I saw all of a sudden, so there's, syrup reductions and dried fruit and this and that, and actual thought that's going into, and a presentation that was going into a particular cocktail. You know what I mean?
I think. Sorry to cut you across, but I think what Luke's the concept the bar did, I think, is to show regular people, hey, you could have a bar, and it should not be. It doesn't have to be a snack. Because what we know is the snacks, the little bars alongside the road where you get a beer and you just stand up and there are all these weird old men hanging around.
Or these hotel bars where it's just overly sweet and...
But not even that. But because there were some great cocktail makers. But indeed, it was in a hotel bar. Or it was in Las Vegas. It was it were bigger companies. You didn't see just regular people.
Also, it were usually imports. They were usually bartenders from other islands that were bartending in these big hotels.
But you're an import as well. And this is where I find it interesting.
My main thing is that I'm trying to get as many of the local bartenders involved in this, right? So he can't do it alone for sure. The older generation, they have been teaching. There's been bar academies. There's been hospitality schools. There still are Academy Hotel. There's multiple venues where you can actually learn the craft. But it's still, just like the regular education, it's still very old source material, right? So instead of going on Instagram and just looking at all the most amazing drinks that you can make, and not just the things that look really good, but the things that actually have good ingredients and are delicious, that was lacking. And I think that is something that with social media is easier to access for people. It is also easier to reproduce because a lot of these recipes are just found online. I also don't mind sharing my recipes. There's one drink that I won't share. There's 5 people now that know the recipe. Two probably already forgot it. But
give me the weed.
Yeah, that's right. The Tokyo Millionaire. It's a signature drink. It was at Luke's and it is now at Come, and people have tried to reproduce it. But there's some secret spices that
you're not going to give away.
I'm not going to tell.
Which is your artist's right. Which is your artist's right. But wait a minute. But hold on. I have a question because you had to start your restaurateur bartender journey someplace, right? What happened between starting and now that you learned to appreciate good ingredients, good recipes, tasting a particular way,
Right.
that type of thing. Like what activated you to look more into doing these things so that you know maybe to reproduce that as well?
Right. I think I've always worked with and for people that are of that mindset. I started in an ice cream shop, just scooping balls of ice cream, super simple. But the owner, Elio Talamini, like an older man, like I think it was mid-80s at that point, would come downstairs he lived above the restaurant. He would come downstairs every single day and taste at least 20 of the flavors every day. Just like a tiny spoonful, just tasting to see if everything was up to par. His son at that point was running the company, Pietro, and like he's the first person actually like took me in and started teaching me things. And I was I think 15 or 16 at the point. And obviously, ice cream shops close during the summer or during the winter in Holland because it's cold and you don't eat ice cream.
Hell, yeah,
right?
like,
So that turned into a bookstore, which is random. And I started working at a restaurant at the same time during the winter months just to get some money, right? And there too, bartenders were throwing bottles and serving things in coconuts, and it's like the random shit that you see everywhere. And I was intrigued. I wanted to learn, and I started to volunteering for shifts behind the bar and stuff like that. And that's kind of where it started, I think. But it really got that kickstart after I went to the U.S. I did already have some bartender trainings from Bacardi and the other brands back in Holland when I was working at the casino. But in the U.S., it's just a different beast. Like the whole cocktail culture, the bar culture is just completely born different there. It's really cool. It's just a part of the fabric of life for people. Like you just go to bars and have cocktails. You have your martinis, your Manhattans, your old school classic drinks. That never really has been a thing in Holland. It's Long Island iced teas and Sex on the Beach is basically what you get, or what you used to get back in the day. So in the U.S. it's just born different, man. And
would you advise anybody to go there?
100%. If you want to work in this
Still
business,
nowadays?
You're
Still
16
today?
to like
Probably,
20.
yeah.
You've done Hotel Academy or wherever that you've done,
Right.
and you have a chance. You would tell them to go to the
Yep.
U.S. and then just learn it out.
I mean,
Where did you go to?
I went to Boulder, Colorado.
Right.
Rocky Mountains, really nice.
And
Very
what prompted you, a Dutch boy in Holland, to go to the US? Especially in, I won't say how old you are, but I mean, a while back it was not that normal for young kids to go out.
Fair.
And
No.
especially across the Atlantic,
across
you know?
the pond.
fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. It was just a part of our curriculum at school. Like
Okay.
you have to do 2 4-week, 6-week, and then a full year internship.
Okay.
That could be in Holland, it could be in Europe, it could be wherever you want. So
yeah.
they had kind of like a job fair situation where you can just like look at internships. And my internship coach, Hans den Dulk, was actually very helpful. I was supposed to go to New York. The Standard was just opening a new hotel in Meatpacking District. That was the original idea.
Yeah.
But I failed one of my classes, so I couldn't go. On a
Shame on you.
tiny mark, like less than a point. It was terrible. Wasn't the greatest student, honestly. So I had to redo the year with only half the courses, so I was working a lot, had some money saved up. And then, I got the opportunity to go. And it was all very quick. I was there and I was welcomed at the bar. And I will never forget this. Like, this is the main difference between European restaurant guests.
Okay, we're in a monastery, but apparently outside there's a
Fever,
bike
baby.
fever nonsense
baby.
going on.
But here's the thing though. I guarantee you it's not gonna pick up on the mic as strong as you think it is.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, but you know,
But
don't worry about it.
Luke was
Yeah.
welcomed in
So
Colorado by the bar.
I got picked up by one of my supervisors from the airport, drives me to the hotel. I sit down at the bar. They ask me what I want to eat, ordered a burger, and a random gentleman next to me is like, "Hey, how's their burger? Is it good? This, that?" I'm like, "What the fuck are you?" Like, I wasn't used to that. Like, you ask,
Nederlander.
you ask your server, you ask the bartender, like, "How is it? Should I order it?" You don't ask the random person sitting next to you, like, "Hey, how's your food? Almost like, can I try a bite?" It was random, really, really strange, but it's that very open, that very direct, like very interested in what's going on around them thing that Americans have and still have, which is good. But that's the first experience I had. It was strange, but really cool. And I was supposed to have like an all-round internship. I was supposed to do a little bit of housekeeping, a little bit of front desk, a little bit of restaurant, a little bit of bar, whatever. But then they let go of 2 of the bartenders, and they gave me a menu that was like 55 drinks, I think. They're like, "Here you go, good luck, start
Success.
tomorrow." So I started daytime bartender, also barista doing the coffee. Was trained by April, very cool chick. And the barista thing I did for a while, and then I moved to nighttime bar, a bit of management in there as well. So I was learning all the drinks, and I was learning all these cocktails I'd never heard of, so that's super interesting to me. And that's kind of where my interest for craft bartending actually started,
Craft bartending, that's what we can call it. Because I always wondered how to differentiate it with you. Because
that's a technical term. That's just how they've been calling it worldwide. So you have
because there's a term that you hate.
Oh yeah,
there's a term.
No,
there's a term.
What is a term that we hate?
I don't hate the term. I hate how people are using it. So for me,
mixology.
Yes.
Mixology.
So yeah.
Okay, let me not say nothing.
Right. So for me, right, you have a bartender, and that is someone who tends to the bar. So, and even that is kind of not the right word because you don't tend to the bar. You tend to the people that you're serving. Right. That's the main
people
thing.
tender.
People tender, but that sounds weird.
Doesn't roll.
Yeah.
This could also be a pimp,
Yeah.
Or the sex work, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Independent contractor.
Yes.
Yeah, those lines are blurred. Trust me. No.
Hi, Marlo.
No, because trust me, bartender's a horse too.
No,
trust me.
I mean more. We facilitate.
Yeah. Yeah. Like triple pun over here, man. Fuck it.
So
no, but yeah.
So what was I saying?
The term.
Bartenders, right? I'm a bartender. I'm not a mixologist. I'm not a cocktail technician. Like people are throwing the stupidest terms out there. I'm a bartender. I make drinks for people for them to enjoy. That's what I do at heart. Right now I'm managing a restaurant. It's different, but still kind of the same. So that's the most important skill for me. It's not about the drink, even though the drink has to be good and the same every time and like all these details. But it's about the guest, and that's what a lot of these mixologists forget. They're all about the drink, about their own socials, about their Instagram, about their followers, and not as much about the guest. Obviously, not all of them, because there's a lot of people that call themselves mixologists. But for me, it's just bartender, man. Like, it's not rocket science. You're not changing the world. You're making drinks. Like, shut the fuck up. Right?
We have spoken about this. We have basically spoken about this. That the intangible. Like you can't call yourself a bartender if the person is not willing to engage with you, speak with you, have a conversation with you. Of course, you can't do that every time, especially if the bar is full and whatnot. But even in that, you're supposed to have a little bit of
that's the moment where the actual
craft,
your experience actually shines through, and your craft. The craft is not just the drinks, it's also that moment where it gets busy. Like, what do I prioritize? Where do I go first? What do I do? Instead of
how do I not let people feel like I'm ignoring them?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a big one. That is a big one.
Let me, eye contact is a big one.
Yeah.
Reading people is a big one.
Eye contact, nod of the head. Like, there's so many small gestures that you can do that.
Body language and psychology and all that shit.
Give a glass of water to wait. Like, it's the smallest details that can make the biggest difference, right? And that's what a lot of people don't get taught. Like, and that's why I don't like these bartending schools, most of them at least, because they claim, like, you go to bartending school for 4 days and now you're a professional bartender. No, you fucking not. You've learned some drinks.
You've learned how to mix, but
exactly.
Beyond that,
and
the interaction.
And some of these schools are very direct with this. European Bartending School is one of them. A friend of mine actually runs the one in Amsterdam, and like they teach the drinks. They don't teach you to be a bartender yet. Like that's part of the course. But it's about the drinks, it's about something else, and not the whole package.
But can you teach somebody? Because if you are very focused on the interpersonal, on the experience, on putting the guest first, or catering to guests basically. Yep. But is that something that you can teach?
It's something that you can hone. I think you can't teach someone to care about people, to want to do things for people. You can't teach that. I mean.
If he's an evil bastard, he's an evil bastard.
Parents can teach it from young, I guess, but if someone's an adult and they come into this business and they don't have those skills, that's very hard to teach. You can give them the technical pointers, you can give them the skills, but not maybe the actual persuasion, actually wanting to do it part. People that do it without that passion for the industry usually tend to they leave the industry quite quickly.
Right.
No, I think that helps the drink taste better. Like it literally does. Like if you're having a good time And what was weird because, and we'll get to that in the next segment, right? Part of the whole thing about going to a bar or going out or going to a club or whatever, right, is that you're not so much looking for a thing as much as you're looking for an adventure.
Yeah.
Like you get dolled up, you put on your best dress, you put on your makeup or whatever. Why am I going from a woman's perspective?
Well, men can wear makeup too, huh?
This is what it is.
They don't gender
Eddie
the thing.
Izzard for the win, you know? No, but you get dolled up to make sure that you are, because you're out for like an adventure. And if the start of the night you don't have the like the Kickstarter, like is what I call it.
Right.
Half the time, from what I know, like as a DJ, if the person that comes in, that's the first time in that club or whatever, they're a little nervous, they don't know who to do, and especially if it's like a small group, they want to fit in and they don't know if they can, and so the little acknowledgement as a DJ, hey yo, good night, how are you, you know, we're gonna have a good time, you know, just that confidence helps them to loosen up, and in there loosen up. Oh, you buy a drink, oh, they loosen up some more, oh, they come on the dance floor, oh, they loosen up some more, oh, this and that. You kind of need the staff to help them get there. Absolutely. You know what I mean? And I do agree with you that there is more attention that should be paid towards that.
Yeah.
But I back up my friend on this one. How, like, if you can't teach the interpersonal,
right,
if you don't have the feeling for it, then what can be done?
You can teach the technical steps, the protocols, the SOPs, standing operating procedures. Like, this is what you do when someone comes in. You open the door, you greet the guest, you inform them of, like, this shit's all written down. Like, every restaurant has or should have a list of this is how a guest experience is supposed to go. Obviously, there's kinks in the cable everywhere because you don't know how it's actually going to go, what they're going to order, whatever. But like, there are certain things that have to happen for every experience to actually be successful. Right. They have to have that first greeting. They have to have their reservation or walk-in or whatever. They have to get their drink order taken. Like, all these things you can teach. It's just the personality behind it. That's what makes a memorable experience instead of just going somewhere and getting fed.
Right.
Marlo, before you continue, I think it's time to pour Luuk a drink.
Yes. I think so
let's look at the cocktails.
It's been 12 hours since the last one. So.
Allegedly, officer.
We'll be right back.
Ask for the paper plane at your favorite bar.
Are we back?
Why are you always asking?
Because I want to make sure that we're on the same page.
I think Luuk is redelijk voorzien.
Yes. The coffee morphed.
Yes.
The coffee morphed in the fucking... Oh, and by the way, you look good on the commercial, by the way.
Oh, it's my own commercial?
Yeah, dude.
Nice.
You look good on it.
That was fun too, man.
Dude, that was a fun thing to actually put. It was fun to put together. It was a fun thing to put together, and that's, again, all of that comes together because of the networks that you've built, and I've coattailed on.
I mean, that rolls back to coming, being in touch with the artists in the area, man. Like,
right. Like, big up to Selwyn, man. Selwyn, yo, fucking Selwyn Event was an absolute beast with that fucking thing.
Right.
Echt.
Yeah, for sure. Like, that kind of stuff is just really cool to do. I've done a bunch of cocktail videos. I've done a bunch of stuff like that, and the production is just a whole different thing. Like, it comes naturally now. It's just like, oh yeah, this move a little bit slower, or this a little faster, or just slow pour your drink. Like, all those things. It's technical. It's dope. It's really entertaining.
Right. All right, we got into your like the myth of the man. We got into the profession of the man, but who is the man? Who is Luuk? Who is Luuk? If you had to give yourself, like we're on a date, like who are you? Like, what the
Okay,
fuck?
I can leave, you know.
Nah, don't worry. No.
I'll get my violin, okay?
All good. I always think that's a kind of a difficult question to answer because, like, how do you boil yourself down to just a few words, right? 36 years old.
36 years old. See, he said it.
Right?
We don't have to worry about it. Like, he said it.
Born and raised in Holland. Lived in the US for a bit. Moved here 10 years ago almost. Met my wife really quick after like 6-7 weeks on the island, and that's now almost 9 years ago.
Yeah.
And have a beautiful daughter. Turns 7 in a couple of weeks, and yeah, always been in the restaurant business. Haven't really done anything else work-wise, so that's always a big part of who I am. Because when you asked me this earlier, like, you can't take the restaurant part out and still have me, right? That's kind of the thing. It's always a part of.
You cannot imagine yourself doing something else?
I've actually thought about it. Like, there's been some points in my life where I'm like, I'm done with this, and not necessarily the service aspect, but more the time, right?
Okay,
so
yeah.
one of the things that I'm struggling with now, and we are as a family, is just like spending time at home. Like, I work 5 nights a week. Roxy now works 4 or 5 nights a week. We have a child, right? So she needs her attention. She needs us there, right? That's a big part. And we're lucky to have family here, or at least her side of the family, and they
Support.
and they're helping a lot. So we're figuring it out, but it's that's one of the parts that's a little difficult, I guess. But yeah.
No, but all right. But I ask about who is Luuk because, like, I always find it interesting that for my part, you have Luuk the restaurateur,
Right.
and there's something that brought you to where you are. You know what I
Right.
mean? But a lot of people, like I said, that we was speaking about, like in the break, that there's an interaction, and you personally have to have a wall up. You have to have a certain amount of professionalism and all of that and whatnot. So, but it is also like interesting to go figure out how you've got to where you've gotten to.
Right.
One of my questions that I would ask is, like, how was the culture shock, man? Like, coming here, working here, understanding, like, getting to know what here was and what the doen en laten ervan er was.
Okay, before the culture shock, how did you end up in Curacao? And then can you then explain all those
all of that.
answers?
So, like, hers and then mine.
Yeah. I mean, also super random. Like, just go back to your previous question. Yeah, I have thought about leaving the business and doing something else, but like, I would probably work for a supplier or something like that. So I'm still adjacent to the industry. I really wouldn't see what else I'd be doing. I just also don't know what my strengths would be and how that would be translated into something else. Right? So if anyone has an idea, no. No, I'm happy where I am. It's just figuring out the timing is a little difficult sometimes. So I moved here almost 10 years ago. I was fresh. No, not fresh. I was back out of the US for about 3 years. Worked at a hotel in Amsterdam. Had a great time. I had 2 really cool roommates, also both in the industry, so we kind of had that party away from the party house. Really cool house in the middle of Amsterdam. Rooftop
lovely.
terrace, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Stories that we shall not speak on right here at all.
One of them was sommelier, so we always had good wine in the house. The other one, me and Tijn, the other guy, were also in the restaurant business, so there was always good food, always good drinks, barbecues, you name it. But both of them were moving out to something else. My relationship at that point was just over. I didn't really like my job that much anymore. I was about to quit anyway, and then I got a phone call from a guy I used to go to school with. He's like, "Hey, I'm the financial manager at the Hilton here in Curacao, and
word.
Yeah, you want to come over?" I'm like,
done.
"All right." Literally 2 weeks later, I was here.
Wow.
Always network,
Yes.
people. Like, you
100%.
never know when or how a particular thing is going to work out. But yes,
I mean,
please continue.
that is something that I've noticed and that I've been working with the last years. Like, that network is so important for everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I moved here. Spent 1 month living in an apartment or in a room in someone's house. Moved out. My brother moved here too a month after me. Spent, like, I think 8 months here. Worked at Kokomo while I was working At that point, Papagayo for a bit, and then we opened Vegas 360. First year, we were having fun. The owner of Vegas 360 brought 5-6 Dutch bartenders, mostly Rotterdam, Amsterdam, one guy from Eindhoven as well, a lady from
That must have been
Groningen.
fun talking about football.
You know what? I don't give a shit about Dutch football like at all. So that was never really a conversation I was a part of.
Right.
I mean, you're always faking that Rotterdam Amsterdam rivalry, right?
Yeah.
But,
Right.
that was Vegas was some fun times. So Hilton lasted for 5 weeks. I didn't like it. And then I got sacked for drinking a beer on the premise, right?
Wow.
And clocked out, bought by a guest in my street clothes, but still.
Wow.
Yeah, I was in my probation, so they let me go right away. Never regretted it, actually, because I didn't like the job at all. And then Robert called me, guy who opened Vegas, and he just said, listen, I'm opening a cocktail bar in Curacao. Are you interested to maybe have a Skype call? Because Skype was still a thing back then. There was no Zoom yet. He's like, are you interested to have a Skype call? I'm like, I can also just come over for coffee because I'm already on the island. And,
he didn't know that.
No, he didn't know that. So that was really funny. And I signed right away. Helped him and his wife open the spot. Painted the pillars, built the whole bar out. Like we were there from construction, like on Mambo Beach. We were the first next with El Mexicano to open up on like the rebuild Mambo Boulevard, right? So it was cool. We had a very, very fun team. We did a lot of flair bartending, which is definitely not my strong suit, but
Flair bartending is like
throwing
bottles, flames, but that type of stuff.
Entertainment. Never my strong suit, but we had a couple of guys who were world champions, so they really brought the show.
I thought that the service there was horrible, eigenlijk.
But
nee, maar het was er, no, but there...
You know what? You guys were shit.
No, maar it looked perfect. It looked the part, the ingredients were cool.
The first year or afterwards?
I don't remember, because I used to go there often, because I was saving the cards for the poker.
Oh, with the cards? Yeah. That was towards the tail end of me being there, yeah.
But it was more, and I think that's where a lot of businesses on Curacao go wrong, so not specifically here. It was about an in and out crowd. If you're the in crowd, or if you're I don't know, pretty
the
rich,
Instagram
whatever.
crowd.
If you're Instagrammable, basically, the service was different than if you were just like, zullen ze wel geld hebben, or I don't know what they're thinking, but you saw that different people got different treatment, weet je?
Yeah, no,
I was like,
shame on you, Luke.
Yes. Shame. No, that's the thing, man. That's the thing everywhere. Like, it's kind of a running gag where people come in and you guess what they want to drink. Like, I used to do it back home, and like people come in, you guess like that's
a
be
beer,
that's a beer, that's a red wine, that's a brandy. That one's not drinking at all. Like it's a game, and it's really funny how you, by looking at someone, 8 times out of 10 you're right. It is, maybe it's the power of suggestion, and it might actually like make them drink it, but it's definitely a thing. But yeah, the two standards of service, I've noticed that a lot everywhere here on the island, which is a shame, but it is what it is. That's something that is very important to work on, because everybody has to have the same experience.
And I think what a lot of companies, I'm not in the business, but maybe they're banking on tourists and like the hip elite of Curacao. But I'm thinking a pandemic showed you it's the mass that you need, because all of a sudden during when we had the lockdown, all of a sudden I went on a buggy ride, I went on a quad tour, I did all kind of things that normally local people cannot afford, or they don't even open up the thing. And I was like, kijk, we are helping you through 100%. The pandemic, and if you treat people who I can come back every week, and if I have guests over, I will tell them, hey, go to that spot if they treat you decent. But I think a lot of businesses do not consider that, but it's expectation as well, and like your shorthand, because
you like what? Like if you had to give like a metric to it, like you've met tens of thousands of people like at this point.
100%, yeah.
Right? Like as a DJ, you also meet thousands of people like after like a while. Like you can't know everybody. You can't know everybody, and shorthand helps you get through the swamp of whatever like expectations are. Like,
I mean,
you know,
in the beverage side, they say vodka pays the bills. It's not the most interesting drink, but it pays the bills because it's 80% of your sales.
Yeah.
Same for restaurants. Like, I don't want to be selling French fries with everything, but
if that's
it's a cheap buy, and we sell it for what 11, 12 guilders.
Yeah.
That's money. Like,
you see, like you're not supposed to say that up. Like,
no, but I
Like,
do.
it's not a secret. Everybody knows what a fucking French fry costs.
yeah,
right?
but what is it? Look, but there is you talk about how people are viewed, and I think identity is a big part of what we do on the podcast and whatnot, right? Good or bad, right? And I think that part of the thing is that at least traditionally, you have to know where your money lies, because restaurants, and forgive me if I'm wrong, restaurants, bars, so like the margins are really thin. Like you kind of have to know, okay, I need to be here for this thing, and so thusly it's not so much of you don't have cash so that you're a lesser person, but I only have 4 hours to make the maximum amount of money that I can, or not even money, the turnover.
Yeah,
in the turnover, I get profit. You know what I mean?
It's a very difficult balance to strike, because you have so many people that just want to go for, I mean, at a restaurant for like a funchi fry, a truffle mac, and a Coke, and they are having the time of their life.
Yeah.
It's a terrible revenue for us, but those people might bring 50 other people next week.
Exactly.
And it's a balance, and it's the same for the waiter too. Like that 50 guilder check is not going to net them a $20 tip, right? So they might shift their attention to people that are actually spending 1,000 guilders and perhaps tipping 100, right? So whether you do it consciously or not, that's definitely going to happen.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's viewing someone as a lesser person or as a less important guest. It's just like you put time and effort where the money is at that point.
There's a lot to say.
And with that, you will miss the potential money that customer might bring in the next time. So it's difficult. So for that reason, you always have to have babysitter.
Check your phone.
AKA grandpa. No, he'll come back. That's important.
The kid is drowning, but it's all right. I'll check later.
Don't joke like
You know,
Okay.
but then now you fucked it up. Lord, man. No, but all right, cool. But do you ascribe to that thing? Do you live by that thing of certain guests require more attention than others, or like is that like a philosophy that you live by, or is that?
I don't think you can get away with it, honestly. Even if you wanted to, some guests will demand that extra attention, but that doesn't mean that you need to neglect the rest. Like everybody needs to have the standard of service, and that standard of service is determined by the restaurant or by the manager or the owners, and you need to just give that attention to everybody. First table in, last table out, whatever. But that's a challenge, and especially if you work with inexperienced staff, like you have to train people. Like that mac and cheese might not give you any extra tips, but they might be the most loyal customers, right? So it's a fine line.
Yeah. All right, we diverged, but Luke was telling us he was working at Vegas 360.
And my question was
giving away terrible service at Vegas 360. Yeah.
My question was culture shock.
Oh, yeah.
Because no bullshit. I find you interesting for that reason and that reason alone. You have got to be one of the
other qualities.
Like you're funny as fuck too, like as well. But as has been proven, what I'm saying is your ability to roll with the punches. I admire it.
Okay.
And it must have been interesting to move here after living in Nederland, after living in the US, after aspiring to do certain things and whatnot. So, and then you come here, and for better or for worse, but it's different.
Yes.
It is.
I mean,
alien, damn near. Like is what I would think. You know,
I mean, one positive about the island.
Not bad alien, just just alien.
When
just
were
different.
aliens good? Okay.
Are you kidding me? Star Trek, dude. Stop it.
Yeah. Okay.
Nah, one thing, I mean, also goes back to one of the last questions. Like, it is Yeah. It's a big part of the change, right? Like we're 10 years behind with some stuff here on the island, right? Like I'm not talking service or anything. I'm talking product. I'm talking trends. I'm talking everything like that. We're far behind, which makes it sometimes easier for someone to be new and original. Like Luke's, it was a cool spot, but. I mean, we weren't doing anything new. Like the drinks were
For the island, it was very new.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was a proven concept that would work everywhere else. Why wouldn't it work here? So let's try it. And I mean, Come is kind of the same. Like it's a good concept that has been done before. Something.
Are you allergic to bees?
No.
Okay.
This is a good Sunday. This is Sunday.
We are being blessed by the bees.
Yeah, so,
Right.
yeah. No, but not having to reinvent the wheel, which is something we both, all of us talk about. You know what I mean? That you don't have to do things. And why I find it interesting is because normally for locals to have noticed this type of thing, like so we have to go outside, live outside for like a bit. Like it's the inverse of what you did. Mm-hmm. We live most of our lives on the island, and then all of a sudden we go out for like a bit. We go out for 6-10 years or whatever. Come back home, right? And you bring all of that knowledge with you, right?
And that should be nurtured.
But then you come from a different angle that you build up that knowledge, and then all of a sudden you come here and you're here. You know what I mean? Like you're here for the whole time.
I mean, I've been here for 10 years, and I'm part of the local community now, I guess. But I wouldn't say that I'm integrated all that way.
Why not?
I mean, I grasp the language, but I don't speak it well.
Okay.
I understand most of it, but I've never needed it for work, so I never put too much effort into it, unfortunately. I should have, and I am now a little bit more. Don't really partake in the local festivities, anything like that. It's not like I am. I hang out with the locals, but not mostly at the local spots. Like, you know what I mean?
You don't play dominoes.
I don't play dominoes. I mean, as
I'm a teacher. Don't worry.
I know the rules, right? And that's it. For a lot of things, I know the rules. I know how it is done and how it should be done. I just don't partake because it's not what I grew up with. I think.
It's not part of your your daily daily experience as well. Like not to knock you, but I'm the only one amongst your friends, maybe Evaldo, that knows like how to play dominoes as well.
Right? Yeah.
You know, I'd put it on Fabian. Fuck it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like Fabian, you can't play dominoes, nigga. Fuck you. You know.
I find it very interesting because you're saying indeed you know these things, but you don't partake, and it has to do with upbringing and what you know. But somehow, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because of your work environment. You're not the typical white Dutch person that comes to Curacao.
Right. Yo, sowieso.
Niet te waardeoordeel, not that it's good or bad. But okay, it's bad, maar
it's bad. It's bad. Marlo, go sign this one, please.
The typical Dutch person, I mean, because and sowieso, when I first met you, I thought you were, I don't know, American, or I didn't think you were Dutch in any case.
I get that a lot.
And then, so I'm wondering, what is the difference? Because when I speak to you and when I hear you speak and I see interactions and I see you with Marlo and all kind of people, there is a certain respect and recognition and empathy, I think, that not a lot of people have that do not partake in the local, even met grote aanhalingstekens, things.
I mean, I think it's part of my upbringing for sure. Both of my parents are teachers, and education's always been a big part of it. They're also very much like include everybody in everything. That's always really been a big part of growing up. Teaching has always been a part of me as well. Like I've been a volleyball trainer for a long time while I was playing. In the bar world too, I've been training people, trying to like pass on my knowledge. And yeah, I mean, I don't care if you're from here or not from here, you're US, wherever you're from. Like if you want to learn, you want to learn, right? And talent's talent at that point. Okay. So for me, and I would like actually to put more focus on the local crowd. And I take pride in like my team at Come like 6 months ago was mostly local on the front end, which is unusual for restaurants that are not locally owned.
Exactly.
Right? And there is this, I mean, we started off with it. There is a lack of service mindedness in the restaurant industry locally, and that's an issue that it makes it difficult for us to find good local staff that have the same values in the service industry that we do as owners and managers, right? And I think that's something that needs to be trained and needs to be worked on. But yeah, I don't know. It's maybe it's part of me traveling around. Maybe it's part of just watching a lot of TV and taking in a lot of different scenarios and a lot of different information. A lot of documentaries. I honestly couldn't tell you.
And what from a distance, I don't observe you in the typical Dutch crowd either. So you're not in the the local.
You're not there playing field hockey, nigga.
So no, you're not every week by Bonita or whatever. No. And so I think that might not. Your crowd is diverse. I think.
Fair. Yeah. I mean, I've never been someone who's part of a big group. Like I've always had pockets of friends everywhere, and half of them don't know each other. And if I put those groups of friends together, it might not work. Yeah. Right? That's always been a thing. I've always been that one friend, the chameleon from the outside looking in. Right. Yeah, that's also me in a bar. If I go out, that's me. Like I'd rather be that person just sitting in a corner observing and not the one on the dance floor. The more I like the amount of enjoyment I get from being behind the bar and getting that attention. As soon as that bar is not in between me and the other person, that's not me at all. It's I get on stage, right, like behind the bar, and I am that performer.
You're an artist in you're an artist in that moment. Yeah. From the moment the stage is gone, you're done. And this is where my job ends. This is where. And
then I hang with my friends, and I'm more of the sitting at a table having a drink kind of guy than going to big parties.
Hey-o.
Even though I do enjoy the music that's usually played at bigger parties, so it's kind of right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So that's definitely always performing, always on stage.
Right? But if you're performing. Is it not fake?
Yes, 100%.
But is there?
I mean, it is and it isn't.
But
you're embellishing
bad.
certain parts of your own personality.
But do you enjoy it?
Most of the time, yes. There are days where I absolutely do not want to be amongst people, which is terrible in this industry.
It's Monday to Thursday.
No, most of the time I really enjoy it, but there's just days where I'm like, you know what, just like lock me in my office and I'll just crunch the numbers because this is just not what I want to do today. But it's usually when something is on my mind that is either family related or anything like that, right? So then it's just harder to actually put on the game face. Right. Like
and the game face being a smile,
the clown outfit. Yeah.
Exactly, like the game face being a smile, because again, like
I've mastered that fake laugh.
This is I wouldn't say that too loud, dude. They got some people that still come to you
every time guests come in the bar,
like,
in the restaurant, is it a fake laugh?
No, but
No,
but what it is like you see folks every day, but it's one guest's anniversary. It is one guest's Mother's Day feeding, you know, like it's everybody's special moment, but but for you it's Tuesday.
Yeah,
right.
That's actually a very good way of putting it. Yeah,
right. You know what I mean?
That's something that people forget, and that we forget sometimes. Like, oh shit, it's their anniversary.
Yeah.
It's for me. It's just a busy ass Wednesday night, and I don't want to be here. Right.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, that's also very easy to fake. Like, hey, here's a glass of Prosecco. Enjoy your anniversary.
I mean, you don't give away trade secrets here, dude.
No, I mean, I'm playing it off like it's not heartfelt and not genuine, which it is. Like at that point, we're doing it because we love it, right? It's not that we're always just performing and faking. If you don't really truly enjoy this, you wouldn't be in this business.
You perform because I could I could back you up on this one because I've been on the other side of the bar too as well. You perform through the bad shit.
Exactly.
You perform through the bad shit. You perform through the Karens of the world and the entitled bastards and the ones who decide that for like $2 you gotta pour them a whole bottle or whatever the fuck. Like you perform for those people, but if people are genuinely happy to be there and want their energy gives you something.
You feed on that energy for sure. We had someone requesting an American pour yesterday because we don't pour enough wine.
An American
Cool.
pour, okay.
I don't know what that
What
means.
the fuck is American pour?
I don't know. Does that mean you
They
pay
haven't
extra
been to
too?
St.
Right?
Martin in any case, because you would have requested a St. Martin pour.
Yo,
Maar,
like,
okay,
you gotta
so
back
did you
off of
charge
somebody
them?
pour.
I mean, if they want more wine, they got to pay more. Bottom line, like, obviously, sometimes you give something away, but not if you ask for it.
Exactly. You gotta live, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, we have bills to pay. Like,
Yeah.
that bottle of wine doesn't pay for itself.
This
Yeah,
thin,
exactly.
this thin.
People don't understand that sometimes, but that's an art too, making them actually think that they get their extra little sip. Pour everybody else a little bit less.
There you go.
Maar, okay, and how do you deal with guests that complain? And is it appreciated that guests complain, or is it gewoon ook dat nog on top of my day?
No, it depends. Like we had someone last week came in on I think a Friday afternoon or Wednesday afternoon, like super busy night after. They came in at 2:15, 2:30. I think it was a special occasion. I'm not sure. They had to send some of the food back because it wasn't to their liking. They said the ingredients might have not been fresh, which is definitely not the case, but something was off with the dish. Fine, they got a replacement, was better. They also felt that after they sent the dish back, the service wasn't as friendly anymore. So I spoke to the
I
server.
mean, but that's understandable.
No. So it goes farther than that, right? So I was there that day. I was in the office. I actually brought the second dish myself, and it's not that we were not giving them the attention. It's not like we weren't friendly, anything like that. We were just fucking busy that night, and we were setting up. We were polishing silverware. We were folding napkins. We were getting the tables ready.
Late, so,
it was a 2:30 reservation, right?
Yeah.
There's no excuse. Like, they should have had a better service. And then in the end, one of the owner's pet peeves is like, hold the door for the guest when they leave. You have that final moment, the final, like, the start and the end is the most important thing. And nobody did that. And I saw him walk out, and I'm like, fuck, I should have been there. I opened the door. But I was in the office crunching numbers. I don't even know what I was doing. So instead of going to TripAdvisor and bitching, this guy sent an email.
Okay.
I read that email that night coming home at like 11:30. Read the email, took some time to actually think back. I'm like, okay, this happened. I replied honestly, like, this is what happened. The food was fresh. You might have not liked it. This is what it could have been. Blah blah blah. Apologized for the situation. Explained the situation, and I said, like, hopefully next time you're here from Aruba, you're still gonna come to Kome because I know it's one of your favorite restaurants. Blah blah blah. He's like, well, literally, this email keeps you guys at the top of my list, right? So, it's a very long story, but.
No, but it's a long story. But
TLDR, like, it is the way you handle the complaints can make or break the situation.
Yeah,
like, I can have people who have a shitty experience, but by handling it properly and actually validating their concerns and
not just placating them.
Exactly, and not talking over it and actually listening to their points.
Right.
Yeah, but then also there's stupid complaints. And you're like, why are you not pouring more whiskey? I'm like, because this is what we pour, motherfucker. Like, I have bills to pay.
Yo, you don't gotta bring me out like that, man. Like you don't gotta talk our business. You know?
Yeah, I was gonna say something I want.
Just say it.
Right.
Man, but all right, but overall, you still having fun.
Yeah, most days. I mean, and that's the thing.
Overall, you're still having fun. You still enjoy what you do.
It's an absolute nightmare getting staff and keeping staff in this time. Like, after COVID, like.
But what is the problem? Why are people leaving?
They call it the Great Resignation. No, for real. 2019, COVID hit, and people just started leaving the business.
Because of COVID?
No,
or
because
was
COVID exposed what the restaurant business is lacking, right? So. Pay is shit in general. You work long hours. It's physical work. I mean, you get stupid complaints like, why are you pouring my whiskey? You're dealing with a lot of bullshit. You're dealing with people at their worst times or at their best times, but it's an emotionally tasking job. And end of the day, you don't make shit. Here, it's better, but in the U.S., like, you get nothing and you get tips. Even though I was making bank over there, but...
Yeah, that's just because you're good.
But I mean, at that point, if you break your leg, you're not working, you're not making shit, right? So it's it was exposed in a lot of those things, and a lot of people just left the business. They're like, I'll just take an office job somewhere and have steady pay and work 9 to 5, 38 hours, no overtime.
Or some of the few that actually improved themselves in that time too as well. But like, you know what? I'm above this. I'm not gonna work as a waitress no more. Like I could take that office job because I took a QuickBooks course or whatever the fuck.
That too.
You know what I mean?
That too. And some of the most hardworking people I know are lowly waiters and waitresses, right? It's a fucking hard job. And the front end is hard and fast. Kitchen's even worse. I couldn't work in a professional kitchen. I just don't have the constitution for it. Like it's 14 hours on your feet sometimes for not a lot of food, not a lot of money. You don't eat. Like there's a reason these guys are all fucking drunks and druggies and whatever. Generalizing, but I mean
it takes a special kind to be a chef.
Yeah, you have to be a little crazy.
You have to be a little nuts, and you definitely got to enjoy what you do.
Exactly,
what you do.
That's the point I was trying to make. Like you have to actually enjoy it.
Right.
You actually enjoy it, otherwise you're gonna flame out quick.
Okay.
Jesus.
So yeah, still having fun in general.
You're still having fun in general, despite the bullshit.
Yeah.
Man,
bullshit not gonna stop.
Like I'm almost, dude. Look, y'all. I wanted to ask the man about the man because he's had these talks before, and we talk about it all the time. But I've tried, but you can't take the restaurant like out of the man, and it seems to be the thing that you really love, you really enjoy, you really.
I think a lot of my personal experiences, my personal characteristics and everything can be explained with a restaurant example. I think that's why we keep coming back to it.
Right.
A lot of this shit comes back to like, oh yeah, I would handle that in that situation because
restaurant,
blah 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 blah.
Right.
And I think everybody in their life should work 6 months as a waiter, just to fucking be humbled.
Yeah.
I worked half a day as a waiter, and I think I was fired. No. The problem with me is I liked entertaining the guests too much, so I would spend half hour on one table talking to the people, and you cannot do that if the terrace is full, you know?
No, I agree.
And I forgot that I put coffee in the coffee machine, so by the time I went to get it, the coffee was cold.
That's the thing, man. Like that's a part of training again. Like I've worked with 26 people right now in the restaurant. Some are leaving, so that number is going to be lower, but front of house, I have 2 waitresses working that are exactly like that. One of them, she's amazing at the table. Like she will constantly get the highest tip average. People love her. She gets personalized reviews on TripAdvisor.
Oh, nice.
People absolutely fucking adore her. But she needs help busting her tables and shit because she's just at the table so much, right? Which you have to have a balance. You can have two or three people like that. Balance with two or three people are just like the hardest workers.
Efficient.
Exactly.
Like
more efficient,
efficiency,
less talking, Or you have to have a good manager who can actually direct that kind of shit.
Right.
But also to be able to say, okay, we already got 2 talkers and we got 3 hard work. You know, that's also management. The management needs to see, okay, we need to balance it out.
And not penalize one over the other.
Exactly.
Yeah, also.
Because that's the thing too. Like in my time, not like yours, but in my time working in the service industry, it was like, the type of culture that you have determines who gets forward.
What do you mean?
Like, really and truly, if it's a restaurant where they want to kick you out, like you pay your bill and they kick you the fuck out, the efficient workers get praise and they get
of
the
course.
promotions and whatnot. But if it's the experienced restaurants, if it's the ones that want to have they want to have a conversation with whatever, the talkers get pushed forward, and that reinforces the culture like a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair.
Right.
And I think any good place has a balance. Like I don't think there's going to be. If you only have the talkers, nothing's going to get done.
But that depends on the manager to be able to see that. Because, a good manager understands that balance.
And ideally, if people who can actually switch gears, I can take 30 minutes at a table. Like we had 2 guests on Friday. They walked in and it was her, next week's her birthday. They're coming back, whatever. I sat down with them at the bar for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, had a drink. But when shit hits the fan, 3 gears up and we're running, right?
Yeah,
You have to be able to do both.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, I think we should take one more break en dan komen we nog heel kort terug. What about that?
No.
Oh, excuse me.
Wait. Y'all, I'll tell you at the end of this episode, because we're going to end this episode off here now, but he's back for an extra shot.
Okay.
That's what we're gonna do because I had a question that I wanted to give him for the extra shot for a long fucking time.
Okay.
So people, we are gonna end it off here. We are gonna say goodnight. We are gonna say if this is where as far as you want to go with us, you know.
Zou ik niet doen, blijf gewoon doorkijken. Now the shit is
Now
coming.
the drinking starts.
Yes.
Yo, that was when everybody goes home and we start talking some shit.
This is the Marvel afterclass.
Yo, but for real, but for right here, right now, we have done everything by our guest, by our sponsor. Luke, I do thank you for coming here this afternoon.
Pleasure.
And definitely thank you for the fucking bottle, man. Jesus Christ.
That's going back with me, motherfucker.
Yo, no, I understand that, but I'm just saying for the taste, nigga, for the taste.
Anybody check out www.voerman-vieux.com. Google hoe je vieux moet schrijven. Frans. Oud op zijn Frans.
Yo, echt wel. But no man, Luke, for definitely for this part of the thing, thank you for being here. Thank you for giving us some time. Denise, for sure, thank you for the questions and everything else. I think tonight, this afternoon was good, man. This
We're
afternoon
only getting started.
Yeah, I know, we getting there.
See you in the extra shot.
Yo, people, peace in the Middle East. Good afternoon, good night. Yo, man, for real.
Later.